The goal of this presentation is to be brief but packed with value. What is the connection between Bitcoin and free markets? Let's start by providing a simple first principles definition for a free market. As simply as possible, a free market is the space within which people create, offer, and receive value, and all exchanges are voluntary. To condense this in the simplest of terms, we voluntarily trade with each other in order to receive more value. Now, what happens as this scales? Thanks to a mix of competition and collaboration, prices fall to the marginal cost of production. This marginal cost of production also falls as innovation offers solutions to all previously expensive processes. A key element is choice. Market participants choose the solution which provides them with the most value, and as a result, prices trend downwards forever. What I've described is the natural deflationary state of a free market. Prices fall. And yet, why is it that we see prices rising rather than falling? The unavoidable answer is that we don't currently have a free market. We're certainly not lacking technological innovation. That is in fact accelerating exponentially, especially now with AI. The issue is, structurally, we have a system in which we manipulate money, causing prices to rise rather than fall. To be more accurate, we debase money to negate the deflationary force of innovation with inflation. Why do we do this? Why do we feel the need to nullify deflation, which would increase everyone's purchasing power, and create inflation, which erodes it? The answer is as follows. Our current monetary system is credit-based. It cannot allow deflation, or all debt would become insolvent, that is, unrepayable, and the economy would all collapse. We have created a system that requires constant expansion of the monetary supply. In other words, it requires an ever-increasing supply of money to be injected into the economy. Our system is antithetical to free markets, because the money we use cannot function in the deflationary reality of a free market. So what if there were a form of money that actually provided the conditions for a free market to exist? And what if this money was something we've never seen before? An open, decentralized, and secure protocol bounded by energy. A protocol is essentially a codified set of rules. And why would we be interested in a protocol? They can be very powerful, often far more so than technologies, because they form the base layer on top of which new technologies can be built. What's the importance of this money being open and decentralized? Being decentralized ensures that there isn't a single node of control, and therefore the money cannot be manipulated. The combination of these elements create a perfectly level monetary playing field for anyone on the planet. Of course, it's vital for this money to be secure, and perhaps the only way to achieve this while maintaining decentralization is to bind this money to energy, which is a universally recognized form of value. So as you will of course have realized, what I've described are the characteristics of Bitcoin. My hope since the beginning of this presentation has been to convey a much deeper appreciation of the value of Bitcoin. From this more holistic awareness, I hope the typical characterization of Bitcoin as a speculative investment loses meaning. It would be like summarizing the utility of electricity as just a way to make money. And as surprising as it may sound, many people can be swept into this kind of view if there is a lack of awareness. Before ending, I'd like to add one more point about free markets. Value creation in a free market compounds forever. This makes it an infinite game as opposed to a zero-sum game, and the benefits over time can be immense. We have already created miraculous amounts of abundance, yet there are infinite reserves of untapped potential that will benefit all of humanity when given a free market in which they can be expressed. I highly recommend listening to Jeff Booth online and reading his book, The Price of Tomorrow, because the ideas in this presentation are very eloquently expressed by him, and he's probably the person who has made this clearest to the most people, including me. So check out Jeff Booth, and thank you for listening.